watching Gear65, the weekly gadget review show, episode number 37. This week we are taking a look at the M1 MiFi. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the device itself. It's actually kind of small. As you can see, this is my name card.
They say
right?
credit card size.
So it's almost about the size of my name card, slightly a little bit bigger. It's quite thin as well, right? I mean, considering some other kind of modems that you usually carry around.
In fact, I'm quite impressed by the size actually. I was expecting it to be more thick.
Yeah. And it's a very simple device, right? There's only one button, and that's a power button, so you just push the button.
You cannot go wrong with this.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with this.
It's very easy to use.
So the moment you push the power button, it will just start up, and you will attempt to connect to the internet using the 3G SIM card inside.
Right.
And then after that, you will see a little symbol, a little light, indicator light saying like Wi-Fi, and that means it's successfully. There you go. It means it's successfully connected already.
That means you can start using.
Now. Up to 5 people can connect to this at the same time.
I'm suspecting that it can actually support more than that, but the firmware is restricting to 5 only.
Yeah, possibly to ensure that you actually have that 4 hours of battery life.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, also don't crash the system.
Yeah. So
a very small one.
So up to 5 people can connect at the same time, and battery life is about 4 hours.
5 is good enough actually.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to open the battery cover again. I always have trouble opening.
Yeah,
so there is
cover is very tight. Which is
there you
good,
go.
so that it won't fall easily.
So yes, there's actually a replaceable battery behind it. So like we mentioned, 3 to 4 hours. The thing about this is that we are a little bit skeptical about the replaceable battery, because so far we haven't, whenever like funny devices like this come out, right, we haven't seen people selling
replaceable
battery, right?
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to find a replaceable battery. It will be good to have, right? Because after 3 to 4 hours you finish it. If for some reason you use it for more than 3 to 4 hours a day and you're outside, right, you just swap out the battery and put in a new one, and then you can run for another 3 to 4 hours.
But I'm sure there will be third parties that M1 would recommend.
They should actually. Otherwise, it's another gaming. It's one of those things that, hey, we can do it, but not that,
not that useful.
Yeah. So underneath the battery is a SIM card slot, and that's M1 will actually, if you sign up, usually when you sign up for a broadband plan, they will give you the SIM card slot. Okay. So to kind of explain what happens when you push the power button. When you turn on the power button, it connects to the internet using your 3G, so like using mobile broadband, okay? And then after that, it sets up the Wi-Fi router, and then your computer can connect to the modem itself using Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's how this device basically works lah.
Right.
Yeah, and then the other side will be the micro USB port and the SD card slot. Micro USB port, you use it when you hook it up to your computer, it becomes an external drive for the SD card.
And
correct?
Also 3G modem.
Yes, also 3G modem. Now, this part may sound a little bit confusing, okay? The device itself, when you normally use it, it's a wireless Wi-Fi router, right, that uses 3G. When you hook it up to the USB, right, it becomes back to a normal 3G modem. Right.
And the Wi-Fi just doesn't work.
Off. Yeah, the Wi-Fi doesn't switch off any. So the only computer that can use the internet after you hook up the USB will be the laptop that is hooked up to. Yeah, so that's one thing. But once you pull it out again, it goes back to normal as a normal Wi-Fi router. Okay, and it does come with an AC adapter, right?
Yes.
Micro USB adapter, and
so
then
it come with a data cable and another AC adapter.
And when you plug the AC adapter to this thing, this thing basically becomes a normal 3G Wi-Fi router. Yeah, can just last forever lah. In that sense, battery life lah, right?
Hopefully it charges faster than the drains battery.
Yeah, and then so there's an SD card slot. What this is for is that when you put in an SD card, users who connect to the router are able to access the files, not by a network drive, but by a web-based user interface. So people just connect to this web page, right? After they can download and upload files, and then they can actually browse for the files. I'll show it to you later, right?
And that's the only way.
And that's the only way you can do it. Yeah, you can't do it by a network drive. So yeah, that's pretty much a look at at the device itself. So now let's take a look at the web user interface on the computer. So accessing the configuration utility on the MiFi is actually quite simple. It's pretty similar to how you would actually configure any wireless router. So all you have to do is just make sure you're connected to the router, and then type this really long address which I mentioned earlier, Vodafone mobile broadband.hotspot. Alright, and then you'll come to this page, and then you can just type in the admin password, and then as you can see, without doing that in the first place, you will see the signal strength. In this case, see, we can actually show you. In this case, the signal strength is 2 bars, and then you can see the battery life, which is only 2 bars as well. The reason why I want to show you the configuration is because this will actually give you an idea of how much you can actually customize the MiFi. Okay, so over here you can see the the usual status and stuff like that. Okay, so under wireless LAN, okay, you can actually set a profile. So you can actually edit the profile. You can change the SSID. For example, here's the default SSID. DK actually likes to call it the wireless at DK. Okay, so the Wi-Fi mode as well. You can see the Wi-Fi mode. This thing is only 802.11G or B capable, right? So there's no wireless N. So you can actually set it to be G or N. Set the channel. You can set the security. There's WEP, WPA, and WPA2 as well as so you can have a higher security for the for the Wi-Fi. All right, and then you can see that for internet you can set a profile. You can actually, at this point in time, there's one profile. You can set up to 6 different profiles. In Singapore, I believe there's actually a law that prevents locking of phones, subsidy locking of phones. So in other words, if you buy this modem from M1, alright, you can actually just take out the M1's SIM card and replace it with a Singtel SIM card, for example, and it will still, or StarHub mobile broadband SIM card for that matter, and it will still work as well. And this is the place where you can actually create the configuration, and you can set it up to connect to M1 or Singtel, or any service provider for that matter. Alright, so you can actually do that. There's actually a management application, the SIM and the same password, the same PIN application. There's a diagnostics place. So setting, you can get it to on and off, auto connect. You can enable event router, event log. Okay, and there's port forwarding, port filtering, and all the usual stuff that you would usually find in a normal wireless LAN router. So it's actually, for a portable device like this, is actually pretty powerful and pretty configurable. So I'm going to log out right now. I'm just going to show you how the micro SD card slot works. Okay, so when you go in, you will see this button here. Without having to log in, you can easily access this thing called micro SD files. Okay, as you can see right now, I'm indoors, so the signal is only 1 bar. Right. So anyway, back to the micro SD. So you can click on this, and immediately, you can see, the files in a web-based file format. There is no way to, like I said earlier, there's no way for you to connect it as a network drive. Alright, and then you can just upload the file like this, or you can create new folders. You can actually go into a different folder, and then you can download the files. Alright, as far as I know, I do not think that there are, there are this web-based viewer basically, if you can actually open whatever the web browser is able to open, it will just load straight away. Okay, but other than that, there's no web-based viewer inside the device itself. So that's a quick run through of the MiFi's software built inside. Yeah, I guess we can wrap up this episode of Gear65. You can email us, gear65@tech65.org, or you can check out all our past episodes and all of our other podcasts, such as 65 Bits and Digress Cast, all on tech65.org. So that's it for this episode. I'm Daniel.
DK. And I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.